Oh, hey folks, how you doing? This is Paul. I'm going to take you through the news, but I do have one thing that I want to show you. I had mentioned this before on my other channel. Welcome to anybody that's coming in. You won't like this channel because I generally will just tell you that you're stupid and that you're zombified and you don't care about anything, much less yourself or anyone else. And what's important to you is being told that you're really, really smart, or that somehow you feel that you're really, really smart because of your obedience to what's been being told to you over 2.5 years. And we will not get into this anymore because I'm at this channel right now, which is a new channel, because they don't like what I say. You understand, folks? And you won't like it either. But if you listen on this channel, it may save your life or save you from a lot of suffering. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is we're going to do the news, but I want to show you something that was more eloquently said than the way I said it on my last channel, which is the Apostle Paul 19. The channel is frozen right now. You can still look at my videos, but they keep taking them down because I keep referring to them in a bad way at this platform, and I keep making comments even though I'm not supposed to be doing that over there. So I can't do it anymore because I need to leave that link to get my subs over here. So the new people don't really care, but if you want, you can go and take a look at that. Anyways, I want to play for you Full Spectrum Survival, who I do not agree with everything that he says. I want to make that clear. Typically, I agree with much of what he says, but in some cases, I found him to be inflammatory and trying to cause chaos among people for whatever the reason. A lot of people ask what the reason is. The real truth is, you don't care what the reason is. If you know somebody's trying to create chaos, then it doesn't matter. We don't need to be hearing them. That's not what I do here. I don't do that. Full Spectrum Survival, I've heard them talk about the scam that went on for 2.5 years and how bad it was and how you could do this and how you were vulnerable to that. And I'm sorry, folks, but I just won't go along with it. Other than that, I think that this man speaks well, and I agree with much of what he says. Now, what he says, excuse me, folks, what he says here, I believe that he says in a more eloquent fashion than I do what I said on my last channel, and that is, look for a different type of conflict in the world, meaning that these conflicts, and that's another word for a 3-letter word that begins with the letter W, okay? And we don't even like to say it because it just gets you into trouble here, okay? There is going to be a new way, and it's going to be standardized, and that is the civilians. The civilians will now become the targets, and this is the way it's going to be rolled out, and it's already happening. We have the Crimea Bridge in Crimea, Russia, or Ukraine, whatever way you want to say it, that came under attack. And this is typically for civilian use, although the military can use it too. That can be said about virtually anything, from a bus to a car, to a truck, to a bridge, to anything you want. So let's listen to a eloquent speaker who gets it better than I do. In other words, telling you better than I can. And he's going to tell you right now about the new way things are going to be. And you folks ain't going to be so easy. Now, it looks like if what's going to happen is going to happen, like I think I'm telling you, I think you may not just be able to get on, with your nose and start tapping the cell phone and being able to get all these different information, okay? You may not even be able to get to your cryptocurrencies. That's what I'm afraid of. They may require you to be tracked when you go online now. You may not even be able to do it on your phones. Your phones may act only as phones. This is incredibly difficult to believe because those of you that aren't my age or 40 years old, you don't remember the time when there was no internet, and that's just 2002. There was an internet, but it came out around 98, and not many people were on it. Maybe it came out in 97, whatever it was. Just 2001, 2002. There was no cell phone. There was a couple words you could read on the cell phone. So now, without further ado, let's go ahead and listen to Brad here. Evidently, that's his name. And he's going to talk about the new type of conflict that we're going to have to endure.
Incident to be set within our country. Malicious and targeted sabotage attacks are hitting rail traffic in Germany. They say that Russia is doing this, and we're starting to see a ratcheting up of anti-Western and anti-NATO.
So you won't be able to use the train anymore in Germany. That's all.
Europe.
You're just going to have to get used to it.
Cables vital for the rail network have been intentionally cut in 2 different places, causing halts in all rail traffic in Germany. The German federal officials say that they are investigating the incident. The Interior Minister says that the motive is currently unclear, but they're starting to speak out against Russia. The disruption is raising alarm bells after the European Union last month stressed the need to protect critical infrastructure after what they called acts of sabotage
against
the Nord Stream pipeline.
You can't completely protect it.
According to the Transport Minister, that this was a targeted attack. It was malicious action.
And there's not much you can do about it if you have a dedicated phone.
Continue to operate our services, basically shutting the rail cables railway system down in that region. Now, I'm sure that by now each one of you has seen the massive white-hot explosion on the Crimean Bridge. Russia immediately called this an act of war, said that Russia will find out who did this and will retaliate fully under this being labeled as an act of war against Russia. Now see how the narrative is changing. They're no longer saying that this was an attack against Crimea. They're not saying that this was an attack against an annexed part of Ukraine. The whole world is accepting now that this was an attack against Russia. The United States government today agreed that they have information showing that Ukrainian special forces were the ones who perpetrated this attack. Now, the real danger here is that Russia is going to look at this event and they're going to say, well, Ukraine couldn't have done this without your explosives, America, without your intelligence, America, without your CIA operatives, America, or they're going to say that NATO is the one that is behind this, and then they will react accordingly. If you were in Poland right now, if you were in Latvia, if you were in any of those European countries near Russia and Ukraine, it would be a good idea to get your family out.
And Brad's telling you right. And he said this very eloquently, and we don't need to listen to any more. Folks, the civilians are now going to start paying the price. And it may be just as simply as I pick up these pink glasses versus my black ones. Since my vision is failing me as I get older, and I have to have this in order to read or do other things practically. It's just gonna be as simple as that. You just don't get to go on the internet. I know that this is really difficult for young people to get their minds around. You may not just be able to go on the internet. You may have to give ID to go on the internet, and you may have to be tracked. How do you think that's going to fare for your passports, for your cryptocurrencies? Probably not too well, huh? What have we been telling you about cryptocurrencies, huh? You don't think that they'll take the internet away? You don't think that it's possible that you might have to register in a place where you'll go and you'll have access to the internet by going to places? Possibly being monitored? You don't think that's possible? Well, think again. Because those of us that are old enough, we remember 2001. And in 2000, 2001, 2002, there was no internet, folks. There was, but it was so sparse that only the edgy people on the edge of the envelope had the access to it. Typically, people didn't go on. It was a while before they really started getting on. Maybe toward 2004, 2005, like that. Then it started to become more widespread. Okay? And like, not everybody. I didn't get on until well after 2011. I was one of the last to get on. That's why I'm telling you. But you can't use Amtrak. Amtrak is not available. It's not available for use because there's damage along all points, some point. You just don't get to use Amtrak. That's all. What's the big deal? City buses, you have to have ID in order to get onto the bus, and it has to be presented at the time. And you have to maybe go down and do all this pre-work. It's possible. Who knows? But the civilians, I believe now, are going to be the target. And when you get civilians and you make them uncomfortable through doing certain things, they start joining the side that they know can put a stop to it. And that's why, in my opinion, you're going to get a lot of Putin fans. You understand, folks? I don't think you do. People that don't like Putin will become big Putin fans if they know that he's being persecuted and that he's subjecting those people in whatever country to problems. Those people are going to start to identify. You can call it Munchausers by proxy, whatever you want. You can call it the whatever it is. There's names for it. But that's what's coming, folks. And you folks better start getting prepared. Because I'm telling you, what you're about to see is completely alien for 20 years now. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing. Keep your subscription to this channel. Put it here. Because it may save your life. It may save you from suffering unnecessarily. Because we're not zombies like you. We're not. Not here. I don't have a mouse in my pocket. I don't know why I'm saying this. But I have subscribers that are going to be coming over now from the last channel. And they're no dolts. They're not dolts. They're smart people. Really smart people. Most of them are really, really smart. Honestly. I'm not just saying that either. And you can be too. Because if you listen to this channel, you're going to hear the real deal. And I don't cover Dancing with the Stars or Kanye West, but Kanye West is making some noise now, and you zombie folks, you're not going to like it because you've been trained in your brain to think a certain way, and we will talk about that in the next video. Old Kanye West is having a little problem with a certain race of people. His own in particular is what he's saying. And you'll be very surprised at who it is. Oi. Okay? Take care, and we will be back to read the news. Bye.